Welcome to Empire Building, the podcast where we talk about building big businesses and even bigger lives. I'm your co-host, Sarah Reynolds.
I'm Seychelle Van Poel.
I'm Via Williams.
And I'm Wendy Papazan. Today we're going to talk about strategic giving. I mean, we could ask ourselves, why is giving money away good for my business, right? You know, we hear about it all the time. We hear about corporate philanthropy. We hear about doing well by doing good. But why specifically is it great to give back to your community? So what we're going to talk about today is we're going to define strategic giving. We're going to talk about the 6 reasons giving back is actually good for your business. And then we're going to talk about ways you can give back as a company. So I guess we'll just start out with what is strategic giving. I think probably most of us really understand that, but it's really philanthropy within your business with a strategy behind it, right? I think, you know, there's nothing that says you have to give away money as a business. There's nothing that says you have to give away money even as a person. You know, it's a choice that you can make. And yet there are very good specific reasons backed by science and research for doing both giving away money in your business and in your personal life.
You know, and when we first started talking as a group about this topic a couple of years ago, I'm going to admit I felt like a little squirmy because I felt like, well, isn't giving supposed to be like kind of quiet and that's something that you privately do, but you don't need to really talk about it. And so I felt kind of like Will Ferrell sometimes in the movies where I didn't know what to do with my hands when we started talking about this topic because I felt out of body with like what this topic was. And so I'm really glad we're bringing this to one of our episodes because if you were like me, maybe you're feeling that way right now. I felt really awkward about that. And it took me a while to get into real comfort with this topic.
I love that you're saying that because especially for those of us that have been brought up in church or a faith-based family, you are taught, there's actually a Bible verse that talks about this. And so you're taught that like any talk on giving is prideful, right? You're trying to put it on yourself. You're boasting, yes. And so for me, I had to overcome the same thing, and I think it's really important to acknowledge that because I think many of us have struggled with that. And we'll intertwine some ways that we overcame that. But first and foremost, we want to acknowledge that it's okay to think that is this even right? You know? And that's an okay question. So.
Well, and it exemplifies a true win-win relationship when you win and your nonprofit wins or, you know, whatever it is you're donating to. When you're both winning, that's going to make it bigger, stronger. It's going to make you come back, which wins for them, you know? And when you kind of change your mindset around it and understand that it's actually really a great partnership to give strategically, and you know, because we're talking about business today, right? Not the anonymous donation that we might all make, you know, on a personal basis, but we're talking about being strategic and purposeful as a business. And once you wrap your arms around how amazing it is, what an example it's setting, and all the things we're going to go into, I don't think you'll turn back.
Yep, absolutely.
I love that.
So let's dive into the 6 reasons in terms of giving back. Why is it good for your business, right? 6 reasons. So first and foremost, and honestly, I love this one so much. It increases productivity and just like company morale, right? People want to know that they work for a company that cares not just about what they do every day, but about what worthy causes do every day, right? So 78% of employees, they want to engage with some type of social responsibility initiatives. And so 78%.
That's a big number.
I'm not sure if we read a stat that high in terms of
big number.
Like employees, right?
Well, and also
and so it's so important to increase
that,
productivity and make sure that your company morale is high. And so
companies
getting
who
them tied to
consulted
that is
and
super
included
powerful.
employees in the company's charitable giving, they actually saw a 13% increase in employees' productivity.
Can you hear me?
Which is pretty powerful.
That's pretty amazing that you can actually tie giving to increased productivity in the workforce. Like you don't normally think about those two going together, and the fact that those two actually tie in is pretty interesting. I didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Well, and when you talk about morale, right? I mean, who here has done a work, event? And a lot of us do Red Day because it's our company we're affiliated with. That who doesn't experience bonding in that moment?
Yeah.
It's just that incredible bonding that happens. It is so good for morale, and you get to know people, by digging in dirt or painting or doing whatever you're doing. You get to know people in a way that you wouldn't know, dressed up in your work clothes and in the formal environment, right? So it's really, really good for morale, and I think it's good for relationships on the team.
Well, I think about we work with an organization called Heroes for Children. They help the families of children with cancer. And we put on a poker tournament. I do it in my personal life, but if I'm honest, my whole team gets involved. Yeah. Every single team member is there that evening. And there's like you said, a powerful sense of camaraderie, a collective shared sense of accomplishment. And I can remember one night where, the giving just started to go kind of crazy there. I don't know if any of you guys were there that night, but it was one night where the generosity was just overflowing.
Yeah.
And as a team, I know we came back that next week and it was like the moment kept living on and on and on. Yeah. And, that moment's never going to go away. For those people on my team, they're always going to remember that, and they're going to think about our team when they do it. Yeah. So.
Well, and when you think about what number 2, which I'm giving you the reason before I give you the story. You're welcome, everybody. Number 2 is really to improve brand awareness and your reputation. And, I think this is where, Sarah and I were talking about earlier, this can feel self-serving, but I think it's really important to understand that it is okay to align your company with wonderful causes, with valuable resources in your community, and with ways to give back. And so, a couple of examples that we have had is one is the National Multiple Sclerosis Society and the North Texas Multiple Sclerosis Chapter. We've been very involved with all of their MS 150s and their MS walks, actually helped found a couple of them over the last couple of decades, and that's something that our team is really passionate in helping to find a better treatment and cure for. But I also think you can also think about this locally with how you can have an impact, like your local schools, or like I know, Sarah, you guys have done a lot with your local hospital, right? The Children's Hospital. And so for us, with new schools that are opening, we realize that there's usually a lack of resources and lack of materials. And so we'll go in and help really then fund the extra materials that the district doesn't give them to get that local school up and running.
I love that say. And for me, how I sort of overcame the mindset in terms of this being self-serving when you're talking about it publicly, right? With your client family, with out in the community, you're talking about it. It's really like, how we've said on previous podcasts, like when you say yes to everything, you're blocking others from having an opportunity. When you don't talk about the good work that is on your heart, and you're really hindering others from helping you. And so if you don't share it, it's actually it's hurting them because most humans want to be part of something bigger. Most have amazing hearts. They want to be part of something bigger. When you don't talk about it, when you don't share, it hinders their ability to get.
Well, also, you're just going to inspire other people to also do good. You know, I've had several people approach me and say, "Hey, we want to do something similar, like your poker tournament. Walk me through how you did that. What are the steps?" And if I wasn't telling people about it, then the impact would actually be less. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, and this transitions us perfectly into attracting top talent, number 3, because they are attracted to this, right? And people who really enjoy this are going to recommend and refer other people who really enjoy this. And Wendy, I know you're gonna talk about millennials in a bit, but I know that Gen Z especially, they are looking for companies that are giving back, that have a social stance at some level, that stand for something, right? And I mean, more and more, I think this is going to have to be integral for all of us in attracting our younger, upcoming, emerging talent, that are going to be our future leaders.
Yeah, this is so true, because I think some of us take take it for granted that that this is something that businesses have always done. If we look back, even 25 years ago, or even in the 90s, right, 30 years ago, this was a new emerging concept. This concept of like conscious capitalism and businesses do well by doing good. This is all a very, very new concept. I mean, I feel certain that any business, very few businesses in the 50s really thought this way. And so what Via is saying is so true, especially among millennials, especially along for Gen Z. If you aren't doing this, right? If people can't see what you're doing, they're not even gonna apply for a job at your company. They're gonna simply say, my values are more important than my paycheck. My values do not align with you, and I'm gonna go somewhere, even if I make less, to a company that supports my values. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we had a group of agents that were onboarding for our team in Colorado, and I was having dinner with them, and one of the newer agents, top talent, she's been around a really long time, one of the top agents in Denver, she shared that what really pushed her over the edge on joining our team was our work with Children's National Hospital, because her son had such a rare condition that 6 months prior, she flew from Denver to DC to get her child evaluated. And for 16 years, he's had a condition that no one's been able to diagnose. And he got a diagnosis for the first time. And she was crying as she was sharing this story. And she said, what really tied me to you and Debbie, what really tied me to the Reynolds team, was hearing that that's your heart, hearing that a portion of every commission goes to them. It's like, okay, that's what I want to be a part of. And so if you want to attract top talent, you've got to talk about it, right? And they want to be part of something bigger. So share it. And then also the stories that align with
that's a
giving
mic drop
is just
story.
so
That's
powerful.
perfect.
So powerful.
Also, don't forget that people that work for nonprofits that you are aligning with oftentimes have some of the biggest hearts and the best work ethics. 2 of our team members actually came to us because we were partnered with that nonprofit, and they decided to make a career change and actually made a career change to our team. So don't forget that sometimes there's really great talent.
That's one way to recruit top talent.
It's like poach from the nonprofit.
Saying,
all the nonprofits listening, close your ears.
They're some of our best team members, truly, though.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, makes so much sense. Yeah, well, we have the same thing, Sarah. We've got lots of people who, one of our stated values is to give back. And and we get lots of people that come to our team that say, I was talking to lots of other teams, and the reason we picked yours is because of your giving. And that's very common. Yeah. Happens a lot.
Yeah. I think we already talked about millennials, right? In terms of in different generations. I had a big aha. I'm a millennial. I'm right on the line. But I had a big aha because I had heard this stat like many, many years ago. And I was like, I don't know. I'm a millennial. I don't go to the website to find if they're doing good work, because that was almost how it was presented to me, right? And I was getting water. I was about to go on a flight, and I was getting water, and there was all the different water choices. And one of them was like, for every this many bottles of water, we build a well in Africa. And I immediately was like, well, I'm going to choose that water. And it was like, aha moment. Oh, I do that, and so it does matter. It makes a difference. And so it is 100% true that millennials, multiple generations look for this.
This is an obvious one, but you also get tax write-off. Like you make money as an organization. You also get tax write-off when you donate to great causes. So don't forget, there's also a physical, tangible benefit to your bottom line too.
Yeah. Well, and in addition to great talent, you're also going to increase sales, right? So that I think Seychelle got number 5, and this is the last one, which is to you can actually get customers, which is what Sarah was alluding to with her message, which 90% of U.S. consumers say they would switch brands to one associated with a cause that they believed in. 90%.
Well, I look at Tom's shoes. I look at
Yeah.
so
Oh,
many,
so smart.
successful
Yeah.
Allbirds. I look at all these great companies that, Sarah, to your point, if I'm going to buy, a pair of shoes that look like Tom's, like a pair of slip-ons, whatever, I'll buy Tom's because I know they're going to buy another pair, right? And so you're so right about that. It really can increase sales. And that's a good example of, such strategic giving. Their entire business model is based on it.
And I have a story for you guys. So my grandmother, she's not with us anymore, but she decided to get a facelift a long time ago so I can say this, it's a long time ago. So she got a facelift, and my grandfather was interviewing surgeons, and the surgeon that they decided to go with was charging the most. And the surgeon said to my grandfather, he said, I know you're the best surgeon in town, but, I'm just wondering, why are you like double everybody else? And he said, well, number one, I am the best, so you're going to get the best work done. But more importantly, for every surgery I do here, I take 4 months off a year and I go do face reconstructive surgery in South America for children. So I charge you more because I know you can afford it, and so he's creating a luxury service, right? He's actually charging more for his services because he's going and doing something pro bono somewhere else. And my grandfather literally didn't even ask. Normally he would try to negotiate and haggle and ask for a discount, but because it was tied to a tangible reason that this is benefiting somebody else, he didn't. And I think that's important for us to realize. You don't have to discount your price or your service for this. This is a explanation and adding value for what your organization is doing on top of what you do well in your business already.
So good.
It's actually a way to attract the right people, both not just talent, but also clients. Some of my agents will say like, well, what if they say, just give me a discount versus giving the money away? Right. Yeah. And I was like, that's not our people. Like that's my answer. That's just not our people. And so we move on. And so there are people like that. That's just not our people. And so just speaking more openly allows you to do that. Before we get into ways that you can give back, and I think that it's so powerful, the things that we're about to share, can I just share a fail lesson on this real quick? So many times, we partner with multiple, what we call worthy causes in each of the communities that we serve. And I learned the hard way that be very careful. They do have rules. These nonprofits have rules that they can lose their sort of status if you don't follow them. And so because I started talking about our giving without first sitting them down and saying, this is what we're going to do. And so they called us and we're like, this is amazing that you're doing this. And there's the language that you're using has to change. And so before you start talking about giving with a particular organization, make sure you sit them down and explain what you're wanting to do, and make sure that you're following, because the last thing you want to do is hurt them, right? So sit them down, talk to them about it, and they will give you the rules around using their name, around what needs to happen to make sure that you don't hurt them. So wanted to share that.
I love that. So with that said, let's get into ways you can do this as a company, ways to give back, way to strategically give, right? As a company. Now we're talking about as a business. The first thing, is team building charity events that your company sponsors. So the charity, the nonprofit is already doing the event. All the logistics are handled. All you need to do is become the title sponsor, make them a lot of money, and then take advantage of this for your business. We have many examples. I just interviewed an agent named Laura Jalot in Oregon that has a really big team, and their big event. And their big event every year is they do this drive-in movie theater outside throughout the summer, and they partner with a nonprofit. They're the title sponsor. They get to invite their people to it, but it's really they help, but it's really being run by someone else, right? The Ben Kinney team in Bellingham, Washington, they sponsor every year for maybe a decade. I don't even know how long. Movies, the outdoor movies in Fairhaven in an area in Bellingham. They've become associated with that now, right? So it's a way to a poker tournament, Wendy's poker tournament, Heroes for Children, right? Title sponsoring events like that. Over time, you just become associated with them, and Wendy and her crack team are actually running the event. You don't have to do that.
Yeah, well, it's just a great way, especially if you're a newer person, a solopreneur, or maybe someone just starting out. It's a great way to leverage yourself, right? Where you don't have to have all the resources of putting on a big event by yourself. So.
It sounded like Via just called Wendy's team a crack team, and
Like her crack team, like, you know, like a crack team, like
So,
what's the other word for
what?
that?
What
What do I
is
say?
it?
Like really
Her
good.
ninja,
like sharp.
Her ninja team?
I know what you meant. I know
Sharp.
what you meant.
Sharp.
Sharp. Yeah. We're not a
Oh,
we're not a, we're more like a
over here, I'm
cocaine.
like,
We're more like a cocaine team, honestly.
they snort
I mean-
a little something. and
My
then
old
show up.
Wendy, is that like an old analogy?
They're super productive at the event. 'cause they are.
I knew what you meant. I knew what you meant. Yeah, but I mean, if we were to be a drug
But
team,
it is funny
it would
now
be,
that you think about it.
over here
It'd
with
be a
a
lot.
Heroin team.
It'd be a lot classier drug. Yeah,
Yeah, she's gonna go.
kind of an
I'm gonna go hang
upscale
out.
luxury give back kind of team. Okay, well. Thank
that
you for
said-
clarifying, Sarah, in case anybody thought my
Thank you
real
very
estate
much.
team in Austin
Thank
was
you
a
very
crack
much.
team.
It was meant to be a compliment.
for the
I was
younger
gonna
generation
let it-
listeners,
Well, I actually meant for
the
Heroes
young
for Children
generation
team, but-
listeners.
Yes, I know. Exactly.
She's curing
They're probably
cancer.
rolling
guys.
their eyes.
She's not doing crack. She's curing cancer. Okay, just be clear.
Okay, moving on. Okay, so our second way that you can give back as a company is to give employees time off to volunteer. Right? I know that sounds kind of weird, but you know, if you say to them and when you're trying to recruit someone, hey, guess what? One of our benefits is we give you 4 days a year where you can go out and you can do any kind of volunteer work that you want. Wow, that is powerful. That's
amazing.
commitment. I mean, that is like money out of your pocket, right? If people aren't showing up to work, it's money out of your pocket. So, and honestly, anybody can do that. Super simple. Doesn't require any resources except for you to put it in your, employee handbook and share it with your employees.
Love that.
Yes, I love that, Wendy. The other way is that you can do like a give back fund where your team members or your employees can donate to something of their choice, right? You can also do the same thing with your clients, right? They can choose if they have an alignment with an amazing organization and they know that you're going to give back something to an organization. You can have them choose, you can have your employees choose, but having a give back fund where they get to have buy-in into who the money goes
Another
to
way
is
to do this
super
is use
powerful.
scale is to make a donation for every sale, or in our industry, every closing, and then tell people about it. So you can just even, have it in your marketing or have a little thing stapled to your bag if you're a store, right? Saying for every purchase you make, we donate to X charity. So that's a really simple, easy, tangible way to tie that to cost of sale as well.
Yeah, I love that. The other way to give back is to just offer pro bono services. Every single one of you listening, every single one of you, especially ladies, because I know you well, we are talented. You are talented. Give it away, right? Give away what you do for free. It doesn't just have to be, manual labor. It can be accounting things. It can be, graphic design work. It can be trying to raise money if you're in sales, trying to help their getting grants. If you're a good grant writer, you have experience with that. There's a lot of ways you can give. You can get serve on boards. Boards need you.
Boards for sure.
Love that.
Yeah.
I love that. One of the ways that we've done before is that we do like a Sarah Reynolds for a day where I'm like auctioned off in terms of spending time
wow.
a full day in
That's
someone's
great.
business. And we raised one time $18,000 for and I spent a day with them helping their business grow. And then they won that. That's a great way of giving back, is like a coaching call, a day with you.
A shadow day.
Shadow.
Giving back to small businesses in the community.
Yeah. I love
Yes,
that.
shadow
Love
day.
that.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing to do is just partner with the charity and do ongoing things together. So our team has done that where we are involved with multiple events. We're very tied with their organization. And honestly, they know us. They send us referrals too. So we didn't really talk about that, but they send us referrals and all that stuff. And then the other thing that we haven't mentioned yet, and I would like to point out, is that you should, as you move forward with your charitable activities, you should develop a system around sort of, I don't want to say take advantage of it, but really promoting them, right? So it's one thing to do it. It's another thing to announce it. It's another thing to really develop a good system around sharing that with your clients. So we make a donation to every at every closing, and we donate. We donate to a lot of places, but one of the things that we do is we donate to Keller Williams Kids Can, and we obviously have that on our website, and we tell our clients about it. And what we've done recently is when we give a closing gift, we have a little piece of paper that's stapled to the closing gift that said a donation was made in your honor to this organization that does such and such. And so getting a system around your doing good and really kind of, I don't want to say like squeezing everything out of it, because I don't love the way that sounds, but that's basically the intent, is to, you want to make the most of it. You want to promote it for all the reasons that we talked about, which is to inspire others, to show goodwill, to get clients, all of that.
Yeah, and this reminded me, Wendy, our organization, Ben Kinney Companies, for about 6 or 9 months last year, we housed an entire nonprofit that we partner with because they were in between office space. And it just fit in with the last two really well. So there was a section of our office that we just kind of had some extra room, and the entire organization was up there, and they were there for a good 8 months, right? And there's ways we can do this. We can partner with charities. Everybody, gets to know them better when they're in your office like that. You're sort of offering water cooler intangible pro bono services, right? That way too. So it kind of checks all the boxes.
Super cool. That's great.
I love that. I'm going to end with a little hack that I learned through this, based on what Wendy said a few minutes ago. The nonprofits actually have those systems in place, I learned, to where they will do it for you. So like Children's National Hospital will send our client saying, hey, a donation was made in your name by the Reynolds team. And so just a little hack, like if you don't have the resources to do that yourself, if you want to partner with an organization, many of them already have those systems in place. So guys, I love this topic. I believe to whom much is given, much is required. For me, giving back is a calling. It's a mission of mine personally, and obviously there's many business benefits to it. There's also just tremendous personal benefits, right? I think all of us feel we were put on this earth for something much bigger, and to be able to see our good work, not just do good in terms of the people that we serve, but to be able to see our good work turn around and be able to help so many amazing, worthy causes that have missions that truly are like saving people's lives. There's not a better feeling. So I learned a lot from you guys as always, but we learned the 6 reasons to give back: increase productivity, improve brand awareness, attract top talent, really geared towards the different millennials, generations. You can increase sales, and of course, tax deductions. Who doesn't love tax deductions? And so we want you guys to not only have a big business, but we want you to have a big life. And part of having a big life is giving big. So go out there and give big, guys. Bye.
Bye.